Hello everyone, it's Wildlife Wednesdays and we're going for a woods. So this Wednesday I thought we'd have a little chat about a bird species that I know you'll see this time of year and you'll definitely be able to identify it, and that is the pigeons. That's a crow. Fucking hell. So there's a weird thing going on between pigeons and doves, alright? So pigeons get the reputation of being flying rats and vermin and basically get a bad rep. Whereas doves are seen as the bird of peace and the bird of love and associated with weddings and all that sort of stuff. Well, scientifically, pigeons and doves are all the same species. They're all part of the same family of birds called the Columbidae. I think that's how you pronounce it. This large and diverse family has over 350 pigeons and doves, and in England we have 5. Ooh. And they are the wood pigeon, the feral pigeon, which is actually a descendant from a rock dove, got the collared dove, we've got the stock dove, and then which is one of the most endangered bird species in England, is the turtle dove. So let's start with the most familiar for urban dwellers. That is the feral pigeon, one that we normally just call in England the pigeon. These humble birds are arguably one of the most important in all human history. Now these city pigeons are domesticated versions of a wild relative, the rock dove. Rock doves are the first, one of the first bird species that humans ever domesticated. Domestication, some people reckon that we've been domesticating them since like 10,000 years ago. Probably first of all for food. Like now we use chicken as our main bird species that we eat. Back then it would have been pigeon. And as we got to know them, we started to learn about their incredible navigation abilities, and then we started to breed them and use them for lots of other purposes, like for sports and for message carrying. Homing pigeons, those that are specifically selected for their navigational abilities, are absolutely mental, right? So you can get a pigeon, blindfold it, put it in a box, take it up to 700 miles away, let it go, it will fly around for a bit and find its way home. Bloody mental. 700 miles away. They can also fly up to 90 miles an hour. These incredible pigeon species were the main courier service throughout the Middle Ages, and were in fact the fastest delivery system until the telegraph was invented. In fact, when World War I kicked off and the telegraph cables were open to damage or inspection, what's the bloody word? Interception, that's the word. When it was open to interception, they still use pigeons as their main form of communication. Even in World War II, us Brits used nearly 250,000 pigeons to send vital information, ultimately saving many lives. Pigeons were so valuable during the World War efforts that some of them, 32 of them actually, got awarded medals for their bravery. Alongside breeding pigeons for their performance abilities, back in the 1800s in Europe there was a surge of interest in people breeding fancy pigeons simply for their looks, and through this the pigeon breeders greatly expanded the appearance of pigeons by importing pigeons from all over and breeding them with other species and getting all sorts of varieties. Over 300 different kind of subspecies, if you like. They got like frilly ones, and ones with like tufts on the head, and ones with feathery fluffy feet, and ones that can spin around in the air. They got all sorts, and they're all called fancy pigeons, but they're all basically the same type of pigeon, which is a derivative of the rock dove. So the feral pigeons that we see in the cities are all basically escaped or released domesticated versions of these rock doves, and now with ledges and buildings and all that in our cities that replicate the cliff edges where they would naturally live, and with an abundant source of food, they make themselves right at home in our towns. The downside to this though is because they are so genetically close to the wild rock dove, it means that they can interbreed, and that's causing a lot of problems for the wild rock dove, so much so that actually the only true wild rock doves left in the UK only exist in the remotest coastal cliffs over in northwest Scotland and Northern Ireland. So moving out of the city, and you'll find Britain's biggest pigeon species, and that is the wood pigeon. With its pink chest, its white neck patches and its big old broad wings, it's a heavyweight compared to the feral pigeon. Once a shy woodland bird, it thrived amongst modern farming and suburban gardens, and now the UK is home to about 5 million breeding pairs. In fact, the UK holds one of the biggest populations of wood pigeons in all of Europe. It's a species that you can see all year round in England, but some actually do migrate. In late autumn and into winter, large flocks, sometimes numbering into the tens of thousands, can be seen flying over southwest England and South Wales on migration, and where they go is a bit of a mystery. We still don't bloody know. Next is the stock dove, which is the wood pigeon's quieter cousin and is often overlooked. It lacks the white bands on its neck, and it generally has a softer kind of hue to its wings, and unlike the wood pigeon, it actually likes to nest in holes in old trees, or sometimes in rabbit holes, but generally it needs ancient woodlands and veteran trees to nest. Because they need these natural cavities in the trees, modern tidy forestry is actually making it quite hard for them to survive. Now, they will use nest boxes when some are available, so you can put some up and hopefully you'll see some stock doves. Next is the collared dove, and this is a real newcomer. Now, collared doves didn't even exist in England before the 1950s. It spread here naturally across from Middle East, across into Europe, and arrived here without any human help at all. It was actually one of the fastest bird colonisations that's ever been recorded. The lovely, pale, elegant birds with a black collar, and you'll see them visiting woodlands, gardens and your local parks. And finally, the most precious of all our doves, that's the turtle dove. Unlike all the other pigeons, this one is a true long distance migrant, and in the winter it flies to sub-Saharan Africa, stays there through the winter, and then flies all the way back to Britain in the spring so it can nest in hedgerows and scrubby farmlands. This one's not a winter species, but I'm going to say a little bit about it anyway. The turtle dove, unfortunately, has suffered one of the steepest declines in all UK birds. Since the 1960s, so not that long ago, numbers have fallen by up to 99%. The main cause of this is loss of wildflower seeds that they need to feed on, and modern farming and herbicides strip the land of the wildflowers and the plants that they need to feed their chicks. Along with this, there is a big problem with hunting them in their migration route across Europe. It's bloody mental. There is hope though. Over in East Anglia and down here in the southeast, there is conservation projects like the Operation Turtle Dove that helps to restore seed-rich field edges, create thick hedgerows so they can nest in there, and bring back the good old scrubland. And as with a lot of species, you bring back the habitat, they come back and all. It is slow, but it is happening, and it goes to show that if you bring back the food sources and create the right environment, these species do make a comeback, and it means that the turtle dove will reclaim its place back here in the British summer countryside. Now, it is a summer species, so when the summer comes, I'm going to make a whole video just about this one species, because it is amazing. Now, something interesting, I know I'm going on a bit here, but you know when pigeons take off, and you hear that like smacking its wings? Well, that's not done by accident, and it's not a sort of failure of design, because there's a lot of predators that hunt the pigeons. When they're startled, when they take off, they do that. It's called a wing clap, and they do that to notify all the other pigeons that there might be a predator about. Another unique thing, just quickly before we go, about pigeons, which is quite unique in amongst the bird world, is that they produce milk. Now, it's not milk like what we know as milk. It's not what like mammals produce. They produce it in their crop, and it's a lot thicker. But only a few bird species in the whole world can do this. And pigeons are one of them. Another thing, sorry, we will go in a minute. Another thing that pigeons can do that no other birds can do, well, only a few birds can do, they can drink with their head down. Most birds, they have to scoop up the water and then they have their heads back and drink it like that. But pigeons, they can use their beak as like a straw, and they put their beak in the water and they suck it up. And yeah, not many other birds can do that. So whether you call them doves or pigeons, this amazing family of birds are woven into our history, from war heroes to messengers to woodland survivors and symbols of peace. Far from flying rats, they are some of the most intelligent, adaptable and remarkable bird species we share the UK with. I changed my glasses, getting dark out here. So if you've got a garden over the winter time, put a bit of seed out and I'm sure you'll see a pigeon or two. Till next time, I'll see you later, you little rascals. It's lovely, isn't it? Yeah. Just out making a video.
Oh right, yes.
Where I do every Wednesday. I do a series on different British wildlife species.
Yes, right.
So this Wednesday, doing a video on pigeons.